Bears, Patriots. Corey Wootton's playing right tackle today. CHGO Bears Pregame Show coming up next. All right, here we go. Back in studio. No place like home is right. It's been a while since we've been in here. CHGO Bears Pregame, Bears and Patriots. Adam Hoge, Carman, Corey Wootton. We haven't been in this studio for a pregame, postgame situation since the Panthers game.
Wow. We won that game. We won that game. Bears need to win today.
You didn't do anything. You didn't win anything that day.
I absolutely did. I contributed in the way that I always contribute, and I will be doing the same today, bringing the vibes that I bring, the positivity, the flow, and the knowledge. Fresh cut.
Fresh kicks.
Fresh kicks.
You didn't wear them playing softball?
Didn't wear them playing softball.
But you wore them at the tailgate.
Strong at the tailgate. Got great people to shout at the tailgate. Not allowed by Hoge on a pregame show because this is not recorded. But I promise you I'll get you later in the week. I'm ready for the Patriots. Who's ready for the Patriots?
I'm wondering if I should go after Carm right now or wait later.
What do you got to go after me for?
Do you know which Chicago legend can win a championship today?
I do not.
Disappointing. This guy pretends to be Michael Jordan's best friend. Doesn't even know that Jordan can win a championship today.
Yeah, listen, I will rep Mike to the end of the earth, but NASCAR Mike?
NASCAR Mike.
That ain't me.
Well, that's too bad because he's still, a billionaire just making business moves. Got Tyler Reddick going for a championship today. You don't even know that.
I don't.
Mr. MJ.
I don't care, and I think it's weird, but congrats to Mike.
Both of us are wearing his shoes today. Right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Mike.
I mean,
you should have to take those shoes off because you didn't know MJ could win a championship.
Woot's wearing the twos. Those and they look fresh.
Yeah, that's what I try to keep a little Windex. You gave me that tip.
Yeah, that's 37-1 a night right there. That's 200 steals. That's 100 blocks. That's I mean the twos. That's dunk contest in Seattle. Juanita in the crowd. James and Dolores Jordan. All right, get back to the Patriots. The twos are nice.
Yeah.
Come fly with me.
Well, some might say this is Patriots week for many different reasons, but the Bears just happen to be playing the Patriots, and
thank God.
I'm just going with the theme, man. Don't look at me. We're just Bears need to win. That's all I'll say. Bears Patriots today. This is an interesting game for a number of reasons, and we always start our pregame show with what matters most. I think there's actually a number of different directions you could go because I think if you're Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron, you can make the case that this game matters a lot for many different reasons. But I'm going to try to get back on track with what obviously matters most for the long term. That is this quarterback. Caleb Williams, his development, it has not been great the last couple of weeks. Got to get back to those vibes of the Panthers, and the Jaguars games. Been a rough couple weeks. Most of the game, about 3 of the quarters against the Commanders. Then he played great in the 4th, which was a great sign. And then last week in Arizona was just a disaster across the board. So I'm going to say regardless of what's going on with the head coach, regardless of what's going on with the OC, although that's obviously intertwined with Caleb Williams' success, this just needs to be one of those days. And I said it before that Panthers game, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I'm not even going to go that hard. I'm just going to say today, it's got to be a good day for the quarterback.
Efficiency.
Yeah.
And to piggyback off what you're saying, I think the quarterback is the most important thing. But how do you do that? I think it starts with the run game. Swift, keeping it simple, stupid, like Tiger Woods used to say. I'm a big golfer. Got a sponsor golfer over here. Braggs is not sponsored. But
just for the record.
I think right now you have to keep it simple for Caleb. He's going through some struggles. You have to coach him up better. Take the easy throws. That's the biggest thing. He's been trying to play hero ball out there. I think you start it with the run game. You control the line of scrimmage. And this week, I think it would be a huge confidence-building game for him, just because after the Jaguars game, we thought they kind of figured things out offensively, and then we've seen some regression. So go back to what was working, some of those rhythm and timing throws, getting that run game going. And this is a bad Patriots team. I know every week we say, oh, this defense is bad, this defense is bad. This Patriots defense has been pretty bad. So here's an opportunity to get him going, get Caleb confident, get this offense rocking because the weapons are there. Another week to develop him. Hopefully after the game we'll be talking about a great offensive performance and not the struggles that we've seen.
So how long ago does it feel like the Bears played the Jaguars? If you had to guess how many days ago it was without doing the math off the top of your head, how many days? And how many days was it, and how many days does it feel like? Because that's the last time they had a win. 30 days?
Say 28.
Okay, Hoge with his Hogeness nails it 28 out of nowhere.
It's called math.
Yeah.
It's 7 times 4.
Okay, fine. It feels like 280 days ago. All right. Yeah, that's very good. Hey, listen, and with the other guy on the show, he couldn't do 7 times 4. So congratulations. He wouldn't have put that together at all. So
Math
that's big time.
My strong suit.
Yeah. So yes, correct.
2 shots at Braggs in 6 minutes and 20 seconds.
We didn't mean it. All right. It was 4 weeks ago, 28 days. It feels like 4 months ago. And Woot, you teed it up. Hoge, you're talking about it too. Look, they won that game 35-16. It was domination. You were up 14-3 at half. You put up 14 in the fourth quarter to pull away. Caleb threw 4 touchdown passes in that game. He was 23 of 29. The defense, they gave up 62 yards rushing that day. All right? I mean, I was worried about Tank Bigsby coming into that game, that he was going to run all over the Bears. He did nothing. He got 24 yards. It felt like they had crossed the meridian. They were headed in a positive direction, and it just hasn't happened. So what matters was get back to wherever they were there. I don't know how the hell they're going to do it, but 7 offensive linemen dressing today, the defensive line missing Andrew Billings. A lot has changed, but somehow, some way, they got to find their way back there.
But one of the things about that game, in some ways, the opposite of what happened in Arizona. People kind of forget looking back at that Jacksonville game. It was still. It was like 7-3 deep into the second quarter. Bears scored that touchdown right before halftime, and that kind of just felt like, okay, things could be rolling here. And sometimes we forget it's the NFL. Anyone can be anybody on any given week. And last week, that game got out of hand, but it was close until the Cardinals scored that touchdown right before halftime. Bears had gotten back in that thing, felt like they had the momentum, and then all of a sudden like that, it was gone, and all of a sudden on the scoreboard, then it looks like a blowout at the end of the day where I don't know, could they still have won that game if they don't give up that touchdown right before halftime? They certainly weren't playing well, but the point is in these NFL games where everybody's good, like sometimes a play like that is just backbreaking and a game gets out of hand that maybe could have gone the completely other way. The way that the Jaguars came back the following week, they beat this Patriots team in London, and they still don't look like a great team, but they've been better. I mean, they haven't been as bad as they looked against the Bears. So the point is, honestly, of me saying all that is you can't overlook any team, including this Patriots team. If you come out slow again, you have some major F up again in the second quarter, who knows where this thing goes? I mean, the Giants are 6.5-point favorites today. They're losing by double digits to the Panthers right now.
You don't have your left tackle. You don't have your right tackle. You don't have your nose tackle, your 3 tech. I mean,
you got a different guard at this point. You got Bates going to step in at guard that's been on IR. So it's his first game back. How is the conditioning going to be? How are the checks, the calls? There's a lot of uncertainty here, and I think how you level the playing field is get the running game going. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They got to be a run-first team today. And I think until you can get Caleb confident and this offense confident, because every week we say, oh, yeah, the Arizona Cardinals, they can't rush the passer. What did they do last week? 6 sacks in situations.
100%. Run the ball. And also, by the way, how about a touchdown in the first quarter? How many days, let's do that game one more time. How many days has it been since the Bears scored a touchdown in the first quarter?
Well, that would have been last year.
Last year. I think that's the one thing that the Bears did well.
They got one touchdown.
Wasn't it like first drives?
Is it their first drive? They don't have a touchdown?
First drive, yes. I'm talking about in the first quarter. They've got one.
Panthers game?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's 35 days ago. I'll do that math.
Yeah,
5 weeks
30.
ago.
Thank you.
The offense last year was poor, but I think the one thing they did was they scored on most opening drives. Wasn't it last year? That most opening drives?
Yeah, they were actually Luke Getsy was great on the first drive. And then it was the rest of the game that was the problem. They reversed that.
They started fast and then couldn't maintain after that. But why not start fast in this game against a struggling team?
What was that?
I mean, I haven't had that thought, but that is the ultimate Chicago sports fan thought.
Right?
If you could marry this player and that player, and they could just combine them, then you'd have a really good player.
Yeah.
If you could combine the Getsy able to start the game with the Waldron occasionally able to figure something out, you might have yourself a mediocre offensive coordinator.
The thing about it is the Bears have to turn this around because we've been known as a defensive team since the beginning of time. It's been the offense that's been so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And year after year, this quarterback and this coordinator got to figure things out here in Chicago because now you have a very talented quarterback that can make every throw when he's confident. That's the key thing. When you look at the Jacksonville game, quarters 2 through 4, we saw him look a lot like what we're saying about Jaden Daniels, how he looks just so confident there. And we thought he finally took the next step. The week before against the Rams, he looked very confident. And then what have we seen the past couple of weeks? Not very confident. Doesn't seem him and the receivers on the same page, the coaching, things like that.
I mean, he's got a 49% completion percentage the last 2 games. And it's
all right, enough of the negativity. Let's get to get to the inactives. Caleb's going to figure it out today. He's playing the Patriots. I want to get to the inactives, some of the pregame news, because there was one very interesting one. We knew Braxton Jones, Darnell Wright ruled out. Nate Davis, not necessarily surprising he's inactive, although it is a little because of the injuries the Bears have had on the offensive line. But the news here was that he was actually added to the injury report this morning with a back and ruled out quickly. So I don't want to be like Mr. Conspiracy Theorist, but the reality is look, this guy could have woken up with a back injury today, and the Bears could be telling 100% truth on this, and I'm sure they are. But this is such a Bears thing to happen. And you have the optics of the trade deadline being the other day, the optics of everything that's basically been the Nate Davis storyline the last 2 years, and the fact that he very well could have played in this game, given the injury situation. Maybe in his mind would even think that he should be the starter, right? Starting at right guard and Matt Pryor's moving over to right tackle, and then all of a sudden inactive on game day with an injury. And again, I'm not saying that like there's any conspiracy theory here, but if I also can't blame any Bears fans that saw this news this morning and were like, okay.
I was like, hold on a second. Wasn't on the injury report. Showed up at Soldier Field today and was like, Flus or Chris Morgan or whoever, I slept funny. My back hurts. I can't play. I'm sorry, we only got 7 offensive linemen. I mean, Matt Eberflus, if that's how it went down, Matt Eberflus wanted to pick him up and throw him into Lake Michigan. Like that is just not. This is not the time for the back to flare up. Now, I mean, maybe it's something serious here, but I mean, I'm a little skeptical.
I would imagine he's mad that he got benched, and he's like, "Now you need me." I guarantee oh yeah, my back is hurting. Because come on, if you have a little back spasms or something like that, every player has played through back spasms. You know, the beds on the road or the hotel might not be perfect, but you're gonna wake up, your back might be a little tight. You got Toradol, you got a hot tub, you got icy hot. There's different things you could do for that, but I guarantee you, Nate Davis probably said, I'm not going to play today. You need me now, right?
Woot, as a former player, if it's a minor injury like that and one of your teammates says something like that, pulls himself out, how do you view that?
You view that as soft. Like, honestly, I think everyone, the way he played early in the season, the effort, I think people would rather not have him in there. And who knows, it could be a decision where maybe Matt Eberflus and them are like, I don't even want to play him just because of what we saw early on. I'd rather play Ryan Bates, even though he hasn't been there, because of the effort from Nate Davis, and we have this young quarterback. So,
well, and that's why I don't want to go overboard with this, because to me it made most sense. Ryan Bates coming off of injured reserve, you traded for him. You wanted him for a long time. This was his week to play, in my opinion. Yeah. We'll see how it all shakes out. We'll hear from Nicholas Moreano here momentarily, too, from Soldier Field. Well, not momentarily, probably about 15 minutes away from Nick. We'll get all the pregame news coming out of there. I want to talk big picture about some of the coaches going into this game and what might be on the line. But first, we take our first break of the show, and a longtime sponsor of ours that we love, Game Time. Game Time is where you go when you need last-minute tickets. So maybe you're watching this right now, and you're like, man, I actually want to go over there to Soldier Field. Well, Game Time is what you want to download and check out right now. They have tickets for all events, not just sports, concerts, shows, but especially known for last-minute tickets, and they're going to give you their new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They also got the super deal. They're going to show you your views from the seats before you buy. They have the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection even, and you can toggle on a feature. I know those ticket fees are so annoying to everybody, right? So you just hit the all-in pricing option, and you can see your total up front. You're not hit with surprising fees at the end of it. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time. Oh.
Shout out to our friends at CIRCA Sportsbook. Whether it's pro or college, the app to bet football on is CIRCA Sports Illinois. My guy, CIRCA Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be. CIRCA Sports Illinois has the high betting limits, low holds, exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Bears, -6 today. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game. CIRCA Sports has it fun and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. You have to be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, so I don't mean to play the negative what-if game on the pregame show, but we have to talk about what's on the line today.
Got to be honest.
If the Bears were to lose this game to a bad Patriots team, I obviously the context will matter, right? If we're talking about a complete and utter no-show across the board like last week.
29-9 this week, lost to the Patriots. What happens?
Well, it's the Bears, so probably nothing.
Yep.
Okay.
But I don't know, man. I think if the context within that score is the offense can't score, now you're losing a home game for the first time in over a year, which is pretty much one of the few things Matty Eberflus can hang his hat on right now. But Caleb's growth continues to look stunted. We got finger pointing on offense. I could see a scenario where Shane Waldron would be let go tomorrow if it was that bad. Because you got to do something. I mean, just to shake things up. Season's not over. You still got 8 games left on the schedule, right, after today. Like, you would have to do something. But until proven otherwise, I would still be shocked to see the head coach let go.
I don't think anybody would get fired this week regardless of what happens. I think next week they play Green Bay, and it's awful. Jordan Love's over there discount double-checking the fans. They're like, they got to go.
Like, I'm your new owner.
Yeah, but I think after this week, just the way the Bears are, I can't see them making any moves, especially with Caleb being a young quarterback. I think they're so old school when it comes to it. But if I am them, if I'm making decisions, and today is a bad performance across the board, offense, defense, special teams, I'm letting everybody go. Eberflus, Shane Waldron, they got to go at that point because I feel like the weapons that they have and then the way the defense started and now they're playing this way, it would just be so unfortunate to see. I just hate the fact that you go 4-2, you're looking like you can be a playoff contender.
Yeah.
And now they look worse than the Carolina Panthers. They look worse than the Patriots have this season.
But after they got to 4-2, we talked about this next 3-game stretch before the divisional game started up. And we all said 3-0 is on the table. 2-1 is minimum what you need to have. They're 0-2.
Yeah.
You go 0-3. I mean, I just don't know how that can be justified in any way. Like, the best case scenario is you're going to go 1-2 and you're going to beat another bad team today. And I think how it looks in the context of all of it will matter. But, yeah, I mean, we could save the rest of that conversation for the post-game show, and then hopefully we don't need to have it on the post-game show. But I think we talked about it going to Arizona last week, how big of a game it was, and it was an absolute dud.
I mean, the guy on the staff that's been an OC is Thomas Brown. All right. Well, he was an offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers last year. That wasn't exactly a great, performance. Now, it'd be unfair to put it just on Thomas. He's also been an OC in college at Miami back in the day, 2016 to 2018. But do you believe Matt Eberflus when he talks? Because his words on Shane Waldron are awful positive. But
they have to be.
Yeah, I understand.
He's covering his own ass.
Okay.
He's the one who hired him.
Okay, fair enough. To your 1% chance that something happens, I asked Flus on Friday. I said, do you have to call things differently this week because you're without your left tackle and your right tackle, is what I was saying. And he answered it, well, of course, you have to make an adjustment when things don't work. You have to make adjustments. So he jumped to that the offense isn't going to be the same because the offense has sucked the last 2 weeks, which was not my question. My question was, are you changing things up because you're playing Matt Pryor at right tackle and Larry Borum at left tackle, and the offensive line is different? Do you have to how do you strategize this? And so I had to follow up and say, no, I'm just talking about the offensive line. He's like, well, and then he went into, yes, you're going to call things for what guys are good at, and that's any position. So whatever those guys are good at, look for the Bears to do that today. I don't have an answer for exactly what that is. But my point is that he wanted to underline that they were going to do something different today. So maybe Flus is expecting some, something different and, more importantly, different results.
Yeah, I get the vibe that he's kind of losing the locker room a little bit just from what we've seen from players and just the vibe of the team. You don't go from 4-2 looking like everybody's all on the same page to now we're in the situation we are where it looks like they could potentially lose against a bad Patriots game. And then especially if they perform poorly today, there's no chance of them beating Green Bay just with the way they run their team. So it's just, that's what I worry about. And I think that's what we saw a little bit of last week and the week before, but especially last week. And if they have another performance 3 in a row of them not coming out looking ready to play, especially defensively, I'm going to say, man, there's something going on with that locker room, especially if they can't stop the run.
So let me ask one admittedly unfair question. But I was in the Bears locker room on Friday. I also heard the Bears locker room earlier in the week. The Bears locker room has a ton of energy right now. Guys seem like they're on a 3-game winning streak versus a 2-game losing streak. So I'm just wondering, when things were not going right for you, Woot, was the locker room quieter, or was it more like, hey, it's the middle of a long NFL season. We're not gonna, come on, we're gonna have good energy around here, period, because that's what we need.
It was quiet because you didn't earn that right. I look at 2012 season to 2013. 2012, we're having fun. We're playing dodgeball. We're boxing them up. 2013 season, somebody got boxed up. They just wanted to stay in that box. The way we were playing, It was so bad. So I think it's kind of surprising to me, especially the tone after the past couple games, that they're over there all laughing and joking. So that maybe that's a sign that, like, they don't really care, like, either way. I mean, I'm hoping that's not the case. But that is kind of surprising the way they played the past couple weeks, that it's all fun and games in there.
I mean, it's different. It's 10 years later and times have changed and whatnot. But it is – I don't know if you have any reaction to that, but it's kind of – I mean, it is a jovial place to be. You would not know that this is like – I don't know. Armageddon could be on the way here if they lose.
But I mean, what Nick has talked about in the post game the past couple of weeks, I don't think it's been a jovial place after the games, right?
I mean, I hope not.
Right?
I mean, you lose a game, it better not be jovial.
That one I haven't witnessed.
Yeah. Can we go back to that super chat? There's a couple ones ago about George McCaskey
And
we should get some of these supers in here.
Let's get them in. And one point about the locker room: when they beat Jacksonville in London, I was in there, and they didn't act like it was a big deal. Like that was just they didn't. It wasn't like they won the Super Bowl, so they were moving forward.
All right, Burge 7F91.
What's a Burge?
Super chat $5 asking how much is George McCaskey looming over Kevin Warren's firing decision making?
AE, will George allow Kevin to do something if Kevin wants to do something? That's a good question.
It's a good question.
Probably won't give him free reign the way they've dealt with stuff. Hopefully they will though. I think you got to change things. I think we've seen the same thing too much in Chicago.
Well, and this is, look, I want to bring up something that we already know it happened. But at the end of last season, it seemed very obvious to us that they were going to keep Matt Eberflus and probably make changes on the offensive side of the ball. That's how it played out. It took them 48 hours, though, to figure that out. It wasn't some big announcement the next morning, this is what we're doing. It was like a deliberation. There were meetings.
Yeah.
There were exit interviews that were done, and the longer that time period went on, the more there seemed to be some thought that maybe they were actually going to make a run at Jim Harbaugh or something like that. And I still hope to this day that Kevin Warren, doing his job, at least looked into some of that, looked into what the other options were before making that decision. And now we do also know that the general manager likes his hiring of Matt Eberflus and was not ready to move on from him. So that created a little bit of an awkward dynamic. And so you do wonder if the president was open-minded, maybe not convinced, but at least open-minded to making a change back in January. Where is his head at now 10 months later, especially after the last 2 weeks and after what could potentially happen today if it goes down that road? And I think those are all fair conversations and fair questions to that Super Chat's point, where George McCaskey comes in on that. Dude, if you hired Kevin Warren to make a change in this organization, to overhaul your organization, get you into this century of the NFL,
you got to let him do it.
You got to let him do his job.
Yep.
So I hope that if Kevin Warren came to the conclusion, or even the opposite conclusion that he wants to keep everybody, whatever that conclusion is, you got to let him do that. You got to let him do that job.
But sorry to interrupt, but just along those lines, if you're Kevin and you think you need a change, but yet you trust your GM and he doesn't want to make a change, is he not overstepping the GM there? I mean, is that a good
one of the backwards Bears, as I like to call them? This team president did not hire this general manager.
Right.
They did everything
That's
backwards, as they love to do. And right now, until someone's going to be bold enough in the organization to break the cycle, they're in the same cycle.
They love this cycle.
They're going to do it again because if they fire this coach, they're going to hire a new coach for the quarterback that was already here first. Yep. And then they might have to go down that, God forbid they go down that road again with the GM, and then it's all backwards again.
Oh, man.
Backwards Bears.
Backwards Bears. I think it's just so unfortunate because last year you had to think Eberflus was they were on the fence about him. And I think if you're on the fence about somebody, you got to move on at that point. And that's why we're in the situation we are in. Hey, they could turn around a couple games. They're going to be up and down, I think, the rest of the season. They're going to have some good games. They're going to have some bad games. But I think you need the next head coach, whoever that is, needs to be a rock star. People have to feel great about him, and I think you have to hire an offensive mind like a Ben Johnson that people feel really good about. And who knows, maybe even a situation if they do move away from the coaching staff, why not Robert Saleh, DC? Great DC, not a great head coach. But Ben Johnson and him together, I kind of like.
I've given that a lot of thought because, the downside of moving Flus out of here would be, you have built a pretty damn good defense. To me, though, there's enough talent here on this defense
100%.
That you could bring in a different DC. Even have to change the scheme, you're probably okay.
He's not. You're not. I would hope at least that if things don't get turned around, you're not going to leave. Well, we can't lose Flus because of the way he's done the defense. That would be absurd. Yeah. That's just not going to be enough. You would think.
It's just so unfortunate because offensively, all the weapons that they have. For so long, they didn't have that many weapons in Chicago. Now you have a trio of receivers. You got 2 tight ends that are pretty good. You got running backs that are talented. And there's nothing to show for it the past couple of weeks. And overall for the season, right, there's been a couple good games. But for the most part, it's been a struggling offense.
Not today, Woot.
All right.
You know what the Bears do? As I bring it back positive, we're going to have Nicholas Moriano from Soldier Field in a little bit here. Number one, the Bears beat bad teams. And the New England Patriots are a bad team. The Jacksonville Jaguars were a bad team. The Carolina Panthers were a bad team. The Rams were a bad team when we faced them. Who's our other one? Oh, yeah, the Tennessee Titans. They sucked. This is what we do. We beat bad teams.
And win at home.
And they win at home. 8 in a row at Soldier Field, 9 in a row at home if you count the Jacksonville game in London.
13 months since their last home loss.
Looking for 10 straight. So let's feel some positivity despite the fact that Greg Braggs Jr. and Barb Braggs, or Barb, his mother, are playing left and right tackle today.
So I'm worried defensively too without Billings, because he's such a key person as far as stopping the run. Yep. What did the Bears struggle with last week? And what are the Patriots going to try to do this week? They have a young quarterback. The run game has been pretty good. Drake May was scrambling around like that touchdown to Stevenson. That was like Lamar Jackson-esque. That was Justin Fields like scrambling here to there to back. So they're going to try to run the football this week. Zach Pickens is looking like he's going to get the start for Billings this week. What can he do? We haven't seen him that much this year. But I worry about the impact of Andrew Billings not being there. Darrell Taylor as well being out. So pass rush-wise, how is that going to fare?
So I got the solution for the Bears
No, you don't.
on that. Well, I've got a guy who potentially could contribute to being the solution, but we'll wait to talk about that till after we discuss what's going on at Soldier Field with Nicholas Moriano, my guy who I got to hang out with on Friday at Hallis Hall. He was adorable.
Feel
He was
bad
amazing.
for you, Nick. You had to deal with this guy.
Someone's got to do it, right? Just kidding, Mark. Just kidding.
It's okay.
That's the meanest thing Nick's ever said.
No. Nick's a little annoyed with me. He was talking early in the week, and I wasn't listening. And
You weren't listening?
It happens once in a blue moon. I was multitasking. It wasn't like I was, just in my own thoughts.
Zero tasking?
I was doing something for the show in a positive way. It just wasn't listening to Nick, and that's my fault. I got to point the thumb. That's my bad. But I'm with you today, Nick. Every single word you say, I'm going to hear it, damn it. You too, Hoge, Woot, Steven, Mario, Blackhawks in studio. All right, Nick, what's the offensive line look like out there? What do you see?
Yeah, so here's going to be your lineup for today, you guys. Like, if no injuries happen, but you have left tackle Larry Borams, left guard Tevin Jenkins, center Coleman Shelton, right guard is Ryan Bates, and then your right tackle is Matt Pryor.
So,
I mean, I've been trying to tell you that all week.
He said,
well, and this is not for you. This is not necessarily for your hit here, Nick. But it's just interesting to me that.
Can we do Nick's hit?
Okay. Do you see Jake Curhan running around out there? Is he doing something? He's playing right tackle now.
Yeah, he's out there, Mark, and he did fill in for Pryor at right tackle when they did their waves of, going with the backups in that second line. So he has played more right tackle as of recently than Matt Pryor. You can look at the Bears preseason. Jake Curran was playing there primarily at that position, and Matt Pryor wasn't. So I know that was maybe one of the combinations probably the Bears were considering when they're trying to get the best 5. But as of right now, who they're putting out there in the warm-ups, the first-team offense, it was a line that I gave you. And I wonder if, again, the Nate Davis being out today influenced that decision. But Matt Pryor will be playing right tackle in today's game.
All due respect to Carm, who, for some reason, as he's known to do, spent 30 minutes looking up Jake Curran's bio today, when all he had to do was watch Jake Curran get demolished against the Arizona Cardinals last week to know that he wasn't going to be starting today. And from what I understand, when he was warming up on the sideline, the same thing happened. before he even got in the game.
Listen to me.
Oh, like
Jake,
pass rush?
Jake.
That was a story that someone told me this week.
Oh, the pass rush you do with the D-line before the game?
Yeah.
Is that?
You could say that all you want, but Jake Curran was raised by his dad, Greg, who went to Dartmouth, and his mom, Randy, who went to Pennsylvania. These are two smart people. And Jake Curran is a Jewish gentleman who went to Jewish camp when he was a young kid. He relates to Camp Nebagamon, and Curhan deserves another opportunity. This guy went to the same camp that I went to, even though he probably was a different camp. I like Curhan. Give him another shot. Back to you, Nick.
Pretty sure his name is Jake Curran.
Whatever. Close enough.
You guys have a bat mitzvah at the same
I should have been invited to his bar mitzvah.
You looked up his family tree, but not how to pronounce the name. Good job.
Nick, question for you. So coming down this week, I look at it, battle of the running game again. Last week we struggled against Arizona Cardinals rushing attack. I think the Patriots are going to look to do the same. What do you think is going to be key, especially without Andrew Billings in there stopping the run?
Well, all the guys that are going to be filling in for Billings, you look at guys like Byron Coward and Zach Pickens and Chris Williams. All those guys are going to have to play. They're going to just have to do their jobs when they get into the game because, as we know, Eberflus and this defense, they go into waves with their defensive line. So you just got to play sound football and play their gaps correctly. And I think if you do that, hopefully it'll mitigate what the Patriots are going to want to do in the ground game with Ramondre Stevenson. And I think having a guy like Kyler Gordon being back is going to be also big in the run game, just having run support a guy like that on defense. But if you're the Patriots, what you saw on tape last week, what the Arizona Cardinals put out there, you're going to try to replicate that and see if the Bears have made those corrections from last week to hopefully not have the run game just gash this defense. But, yeah, if I'm the Patriots, I'm looking to run the ball and see how long you can stick with it.
Curious about the wind. I was looking at the forecast, and it looks like it's supposed to be picking up. We were out a few blocks away from Soldier Field earlier at the tailgate. It didn't seem that bad, but according to the forecast, it's supposed to pick up. What's it like right now?
Yeah, right now, Adam, it's not too bad. I mean, we've definitely covered games just this season where it's been worse, but you can see the field goal post slightly moving here, but nothing too crazy. But, at any point, I feel like the weather could change here. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a factor as of now, but, again, never know here.
Nick, the over or under, the number on this game is 37.5. I mean,
Under.
Also, Hoge just took the under, so he's predicting 16-15. Or I guess the most you could get to if it was a 1-point game would be 19-18. What do you think about that number, Nick? How do you read into that?
I mean, I had the Bears 20, the Patriots 13, so I'm taking the under as well. I don't think there's going to be a lot of look, with this offensive line, I don't know how it's going to hold up, Mark, even though the Patriots have struggled getting to opposing quarterbacks. It's a makeshift offensive line. Matt Pryor's playing right tackle for the first time in a while, and it's been bad when other guys have been in. So I think that some weaknesses that shouldn't be prevalent in this game are going to show up because it is a makeshift offensive line. We're going to see it out here, but I think it's going to be low scoring.
Okay. All right. Anything else we need to know from the stadium?
Yeah, actually from the stadium, but inside this press box, you guys, as we're kind of just here pre-game, just kind of Patrick and I waiting here. I don't know why I looked to my right when I did. I was talking to Patrick, and there was a little critter on the ground in the press box. Tiny little mouse. Like a tiny little mouse just walking down that way. Don't know where it went or what happened to it, but I don't know if that's what that means, though. Okay. I've seen some interesting comments, like if you give a mouse an offense, what happens? Like if you give a mouse a cook, I don't know. So we'll see what that symbolizes, but that happened not too long ago here in the press box.
Mice in the press box.
I bet you that mouse will fill a gap that it needs to in the run game, maybe. I don't know. No.
I mean, what I think that means is can we get a stadium announcement sometime soon, for the love of God?
Or can we just get a pest service? Maybe. Pest services, if you want to advertise on CHGO, here's your opportunity.
The reality, the more mice in a stadium, the cooler the stadium, the more likely you're going to smell the urine in the troughs, and you need old school to win. You want nobody walked into Boston Garden where it was 125 degrees in June and could win a basketball game. That's what the Bears need. More mice. That's why they're winning at home. 8 in a row. Don't you talk nonsense on Soldier Field. More mice. Like it. Kevin Warren, mice. Good thing.
That was the craziest take you've had. Like, you've had some interesting takes over the years, Mark, but that one maybe
you
up
want
there.
an old, dilapidated, bad-smelling, nobody wants to be there stadium. That's what you want. You don't want people all comfortable in your stadium. You want them afraid there's a mouse and that you got to get out of there as quick as possible, not thinking about football. This is a great job by Kevin Warren. I knew we have the right guy up the top. Warren, mouse, put it there. Great move.
Steven, can we get this guy a beverage or whatever he calls it?
No, he's had enough to drink, clearly.
I don't, all you people with all your creature comforts make me sick. I want a large concourse, and I want to be able to have I want a floating device to get me to the game. And when I get there, I want to have 17,000 things to do, so I don't have to just watch the football game. No, old school. Get in your seat, wait in a long line, and it should smell terrible. That's what it should be.
Give
me old Dyke Stadium when you were playing in it at Carman and Ryan Field. That place was a great shithole.
Yeah. Nick, sorry you got to deal with this. All right.
All good, you guys. Hopefully, when I join you guys after the game, after a Bears W, I think it's very capable, given that it is the Patriots coming to town. The Bears do know that they can win here, so we'll see what happens.
I don't know what to say anymore after that. Enjoy the game, Nick.
Enjoy the game, you guys.
Love you, Nick.
See you,
Enjoy
man.
being in the press box.
Oh, man.
Would you rather be in a press box with a mouse or the CHGO studios with this guy?
You're telling me you're not happy there's a mouse in that press box that it might crawl on, like, I don't know, I could think of a couple people.
I mean, I am kind of envisioning a mouse crawling, like, on Pat Finley's leg in the middle of the game.
Like, hopefully
we love you, Pat Finley.
And laughing my ass off.
They got a plate of food. All of a sudden, the mouse goes up there and nibbling on them.
What the heck? You telling me? That'd be amazing.
Well,
but either way, a new stadium, that would be pretty dope, right? Nice concourse. It takes you over there, right? You don't even have to walk. It's like at the airport.
Farm doesn't even.
When they were promoting it, it was the paddle boats, and can't wait for that. Bears fans on
Swan boats.
Yeah, swan boats.
No, that was the last unveiling.
Yeah,
back in over 2 years ago now. I think the flamingo boats are out the window.
Can we do a little Hoge Woot Carm bet? Who?
I was just looking at some prop bets here.
Who on the interior today do you think will have the most tackles between Jervon Dexter Sr., Zach Pickens, and then throw my guy Byron Coward in there?
I'm going to say Jervon Dexter. I think
would
he's
be
gonna
the
step up
chalk.
big this
It
year.
better be Dexter.
Yeah.
How about Pickens versus Coward? Who do you like?
Probably Coward. I think he plays more.
Coward, yeah.
Okay. You know that he was the #1 recruit in the country when he was coming out of college?
Here comes Byron
out of high school.
Coward's
Yep.
family tree.
Here it comes.
What did he do?
He was the #1 recruit.
Yeah.
He
Did he have a bat mitzvah too?
He didn't have a bar mitzvah or a bar mitzvah.
High school he was?
What's that?
He was the #1 recruit.
He was the
out of high
#1 recruit. Went to Auburn. Thought that he was Johnny Talented. Didn't work. Didn't study. Junior year, he's getting like no time. I'm out of here, coach. See you later, Gus Malzahn. I'm going back home. My mom's sick. I'm going back to Florida. Ends up at Maryland. 5th-round draft pick, New England Patriots. Can you say Byron Coward revenge game, Hoge? Say it.
Oh.
What's he revenging?
He's revenging that he's no longer a Patriot. Now he has had a circuitous
But
route.
do you want to be a Patriot now that Bill Belichick's not there?
Yeah.
Probably not.
I mean, it was he's been with the Colts, the Chiefs, the Texans, and the Dolphins since then. But he's got 42 games in his career, 14 starts with the Pats in 2020. And
He's a solid player, for sure.
I mean, I'm interested to see him.
I want to see Jervon Dexter because during that winning streak, I feel like he was really coming alive, especially in the pass rush game. We haven't seen as much the past couple of weeks. let's see how he makes an impact when Billings isn't there, because he's the one that everyone projected to take the next step this year if the Bears are going to be successful. So it'll be good to see him get a couple sacks in this game, especially because there's going to be a lot of interior pressure. Like, you got to, especially with Drake May. I'm looking at this game. If I'm the Patriots, I'm looking at the Commanders game, and I'm seeing their recipe and how they did things, and I'm going to try to do the same thing. I'm going to do RPOs. I'm going to try to get outside the pocket. I'm going to try to test the rush discipline from this team right here.
Well, they got to.
They're going to.
And that gets. Let's talk about some prop bets here, because if you're looking for value, we know a couple things about the Bears. They do not get out to fast starts, and they do not stop the run well. So if you look at, I am not a big fan usually of, making an investment on first touchdown scorer. But if you look at the odds today, DeAndre Swift, let's see, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of the top 9 options for first TD scorer are Bears. So the odds are telling you, along with spread, that the Bears are going to score first, right? You just got to pick which one. And yet, the Bears don't usually score first. They're usually playing from behind. Now, that might just be a field goal, might not be a touchdown. But my point is, you can probably get some value here if you think the Bears fall behind 7-0 by betting a Patriot on this one. Ramondre Stevenson, not surprisingly, is the highest Patriot in terms of first TD score at plus 750.
That's a great bet. I like that.
Drake May, no rushing touchdown? Or?
Drake May is the next one.
Okay.
Behind the Bears defense or special teams scoring first. I could see a Drake May rushing touchdown.
You see him last week?
You want plus 1,600 on Drake May scoring the first touchdown of this game? I'm just looking at this purely in terms of value. I don't think that's a bad bet.
Not at all.
16-1. Throw a little sawbuck on there.
Is there one about his rushing yards, like over under?
Overall?
Yeah.
Give me a second. I can probably find
that. I think that would be because he almost rushed for 100. I think 91.
95.
Yeah, 95.
Yeah. It's fun. I'm looking at the chat right now. The chat's having fun with prop bets. Will Kmet get a target today?
Yeah.
Will
you know who's going to get targets? Their tight end, right?
Yeah.
Hunter Henry?
No, that's
he's going to get a lot of targets.
That's their leading receiver, right?
Drake May rushing yards minus 210 to go over 25, so they think that's pretty likely. If you want to go 40-plus rushing yards, you can get plus 35. Plus 135, sorry.
If the Bears do not contain him, he will do that. Caleb's done that in multiple games.
I was looking
scramble.
Well, Caleb's plus 115 to go over 25 rushing yards. Yeah. That's not a bad bet either.
His scramble game has been pretty good this year.
What's the 40 yards? I was looking at that earlier.
For Caleb?
Yeah.
Plus 310.
Yeah, 3-1. I didn't play it because I thought I need a little bit better than 3-1 that he's going to get 40 yards.
Yeah, I think it's that low because the Patriots have only allowed 98 rush yards to quarterbacks this season.
Good stat, Steven.
Yeah.
That's why I call him that. Good stat, Steven.
Now that I'm thinking about it defensively, I'm a little worried though, just about the running game. I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not changing my prediction, but I am worried because Drake May, sneaky fast with his feet. Like, he can run. The guy that can run.
He's also gonna try to run you over.
Correct.
Like
he's a pretty big dude. So I don't know. I worry about the discipline issues last week. Lack of rush lanes at times. And this is a guy that's kind of trying to get his footing as far as a passer. What's he going to do? Run first.
Well, by the way, the Panthers beat the Giants in overtime 2017. That hurts the Bears' draft pick, potentially.
Yeah, stop winning football games. It's really annoying.
That's another reason why you want to – yeah. So actually losing to the Patriots would help their second-round draft pick.
If you were looking for positives.
It would help. It would help their own, and it would help the Panthers have a better chance of.
We're not quite there yet. We're rooting for losses, but, we could just tee that up. That was one of the conversations that I had at our tailgate today, which, by the way, was a ton of fun. Thanks for everybody who came on out. I'll shout you out when we're doing a recorded show. It was, people were seriously, Big Graham was talking about, he's like, well, if the season goes sideways, at least we'll get an easy schedule next year. And I was like, that could be it.
Like the easy schedule they have right now?
Right.
They're 4-4.
Finish last in the division again and underachieve. We'll get it. But
all the weapons, let's go.
Get higher draft picks. Get us.
Sound like Cubs fans back in the 90s.
No.
Well, the thing is, eventually, right? That's going to be a championship, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully sooner than they had to wait.
Hey, you say that, but the Bears did it. Well, they sort of lucked into it, but in a way, not. I mean, they tore down the team, to build it up. That's what the Cubs did. That's how they got there.
Well,
we're on the path.
But it all comes back to Caleb, right? Because if he's the guy, you can win a Super Bowl. If he's not the guy, you're probably not going to win a Super Bowl. That's how the NFL works. All right, let's get to predictions here. And I think we're all kind of on the same page on this game. I am not. So last week, and by the way, our predictions, as always, are presented by Ray Auto Group. We love Ray. Ray's still going Bears this week, obviously. I'm going 16-10. So, Carm, you wanted me to go 16-15 to hit the under. I'm doing better than that. I got 16-10.
Everybody picked the Bears over the Cardinals last week.
The Cardinals still in your head.
Yeah.
Run free.
we all picked them last week, and it was embarrassing, and I'm pointing the thumb on that one because I should have known better. But I got the Bears winning in a nail-biter, 23-22.
Yep, I got the Bears 21-17, and every game is a must-win at this point. But I think as far as the coaching staff, Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron, keeping their job, they have to win this game. And I would guess that Ryan Poles hopefully talked to both of them this week about how important this game is for them. Maybe he didn't, but if I were Ryan Poles, I would do that. Hey, you're my guys, but you got to go out there and perform at the end of the day. And if not, it makes me look bad.
I mean, things you want to see today, right? You love to see the Bears establish the run game early. We talked about that earlier. But also, and we touched on it, but it would be sweet to see some level of an uptick. It doesn't have to be huge, but an uptick in the chemistry between Caleb and DJ. How about just some nice, easy slants, get him going? Just pitch and catch.
And
come on, man.
Can we get him a couple targets?
And same thing. I'm going to bet on Kmet's over today. That's coming.
We got to get him the ball going. I mean, I feel like he's too talented of a pass-catching receiver to not utilize him. It's a quarterback's best friend. And
I think he should get one target again.
Any worries about DJ Moore today? He's gone 3 straight games under 40 yards, and now he's got Christian Gonzalez probably in shadow coverage against him. That's not a good spot to be in.
I am worried. And honestly, if I was the Patriots, I would put Christian Gonzalez on Roma Dunze.
Yep.
Because the chemistry isn't there. I don't view Caleb and DJ as some amazing combo right now that you need to shut down.
Even Keenan
I would
Allen.
shut down the other option.
Even Keenan Allen.
And say,
right?
prove it, that you guys can show some type of chemistry, because it's not there.
Rome seemed like the only one consistently throughout the year that he has. Even Cole, haven't been on the same page the whole time. So
Kmet, you get 2-1 at 40 yards. If you want to go all the way up the food chain to 80 yards, which would be wild, you could get 13-1.
They might need him to block more today too.
That's fair.
I'm not going there this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took the Bears 20-14 this week. If I had to ask you guys where the Patriots rank in run defense this season, where would you think they
30th.
are? 30th?
I think they're the second worst overall defense in the NFL, just behind the good old Jacksonville Jaguars, who the Bears beat, obviously. 27th?
No, I think they're 15th. I looked this up earlier in the week.
I was looking specifically against running backs.
Oh.
They are 31st.
Okay.
They have been bad. Over 1,100 yards allowed to running backs this season, just rushing the ball. They're also tied for second in most rush TDs allowed to running backs. I think this is the DeAndre Swift game.
Okay.
So first play of the game, if they throw a pass, I'm throwing something at the screen. I'll fix the TV. I'll get it, but run the football, right?
I think we should name the mouse at Soldier Field
Carmouse.
I was thinking Greg Bragg's the mouse. Greg the mouse.
If the Bears lose this game, Bragg's face the whole post-game is going.
If they win, though, the mouse changed the season.
Yes.
The mouse needs a home. It needs to be fed.
Cole over 50 yards. 5-1. Let's go. I'm in.
Okay. Thanks for the update.
Put up the big money then.
Good luck. Let's get these supers here. We got to get out of here. It's almost game time. We got 0.
Come on, Cole.
We got a $50 one from Zero Demon. We got to get up there.
0.
Yep. Caleb, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bears lose.
Oh.
Flus fired on Monday, and we start the tank of Ben Johnson. Life and hope. Caleb survives.
If he throws for 300, I don't think they're losing.
Yeah, I don't.
And he ain't
300, 2 touchdowns. I don't think they lose.
But Zero he doesn't want to.
Zero's going wishful thinking.
Yes.
He wants his quarterback to have a great day and his head coach to get fired.
That's what we love.
That's what he's shooting for there.
We love you, Zero.
He's going to wish it into existence with $50 super chat, which we greatly appreciate. Michael, $2. Eber flushes. Get right game.
Eber flush.
Eber lose. Eber flush.
Another one from Zero Demon, $10. You guys think Caleb's ready for the Boo Birds? He's going to be hearing rest of the season at home.
Oof.
Yikes.
Zero, don't go there.
Boy, that was
Hopefully he has a good performance.
Two
That's
very
it.
different supers there. Our guy Bears on Kauai. Oh, dreaming of Kauai. $10. Bears win, but only because Caleb is ignoring Waldron and drawing plays in the dirt. Comes down to a Hail Mary. Defense is not set. JJ calls a timeout, but Flus won't.
The annexation of Puerto Rico. Little Giants, baby.
Flus and Waldron gone tomorrow. These are fun predictions. I like these super
Bears
chat
on Kauai on fire.
Yeah. Nicholas Raimondo, $5. Play action, roll the pocket, and any one-on-one outside, you throw it to that matchup. Keep it simple, win the game.
I love that plan.
Caleb Burnett, $10. Do any small actions this season, such as being open about making certain players inactive, etc., indicate the Bears would be more willing to make in-season changes than in the past. CHGO is the best. Bear down.
The wild card in that is Kevin Warren, Caleb, right? We don't know.
Yeah, and I don't think he has anything to do with who's inactive or whatever. But
yeah, Nate Davis is very interesting.
I extracted that out to coaching.
It is.
Yeah. All right. Enjoy the game. We got to go. It is almost kickoff time. Will the Bears get a win? Regardless, and I guess especially if they lose, you're going to want to be here as soon as the game is over. Crystal gets last word, $20. I'm sorry, guys. Bears lose 21-17. First home game since the win streak. I am not attending. Bear down. Love you guys.
Crystal, how dare you? But you are allowed to make your prediction.
Maybe Crystal's right and we're all wrong.
We'll find out in the next 3 hours. Be here for post game at 3. Don't forget Briggs and Brown after that.
That's right.
And
Bear down.
I've got more deep dives on both Jake Curran and Byron Coward for the post game.
Let's watch the game.
Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.